So, you want to pursue a program in suffering? In this video, we're going to talk about everything that you need to know before pursuing medicine here in Zambia. Well, medicine here is 6 to 7 years, depending on the institution that you're going to pursue it. But medical school by itself is usually 5 to 6 years. So, for example, here at Mulungushi, UNZA or CBU, medicine is 6 years. You're going to have 1 year of natural and applied sciences, where you're going to do foundational sciences together with different people that are pursuing programs under science. For example, you'll be together with engineers, computer scientists, biochemists, microbiologists, medical physics, and so on and so forth. Yeah. So basically, that's for your first year. Then for your second 2 years, you're going to do preclinical, which is essentially the theoretical part of medicine. Then from there, your last 2 years are going to be practical, where you'll be working in the ward and doing the practical part of medicine. Yeah. So that's the most common or the standard route as to get that program. Another route you can take is by doing a science-based program. You get a degree in a science-based program first, and then go straight to preclinical, which is 2 years on top of that, and then 3 years. So usually, if you go through the traditional route, which is NS 1 year, preclinical 2 years, and then clinical 3 years, that's 6 years if you're going to Mulungushi, UNZA, or CBU. Then if you're going to, let's say for example, Cavendish, you might finish in 7 years, and institutions like UNILAS have 6.5 years. Yeah, for some reason UNILAS is weird or like that. So because people watching this video, there will be mostly two groups of people that are going to be watching this video. Those who want to come and do medicine for the first time and don't know anything about it, and those who just finished NS or just finished a science-based program and want to go to medical school. So for the first part, we'll talk about the former, and then later on we'll talk about the latter. Yeah, I'll probably drop down something here to show where you can skip to if you just want to know, if you're just interested in going straight to medical school and you're not interested in NS. So, natural and applied sciences, what exactly does this mean? So, basically, you'll be doing foundational sciences. This means that the reason you have this is because for any of the programs that you're going to do, you're going to need to have a certain level of information. I'll give you an example of medicine. The biology that you do in first year is basically biochemistry. It's like what you learn. Biochemistry is a course that you're going to have in your second year, right? And what you learn in Bio 101 or Bio 102 is essentially, macromolecules or that stuff. That's what you're going to need to do in medicine. And then the physics that you do in NSO, so you need that for engineering, because the first few programs you do when you just go straight to BEM 2 is you're going to have statics, you're going to have dynamics, and you need essentials of physics for that. If you want to go through other chemical-based routes, you need to know stuff like the Moore concept and all the chemistry and the like. And then mathematics is also important for engineers as well. So basically, it's building that foundation in you. Now, to some people, it might not seem fair, because look at someone who wants to go do a program in medicine and then they have to know mathematics, and failing that can stop them from pursuing that. But that's just the system. Would you rather do a 4-year program for you to, or do NS? Yeah. So in first year, basically the foundational sciences you will do is biology, chemistry, physics, and math. So these are the main 4. No matter where you go, these are going to be the main 4 things. And then depending on your institution, they might supplement that with 1 or 2 courses to help with that, like maybe communication skills, computer science, or an ethical course. In my time, we had 5 courses in our first semester, which included BMG. But this time, you're only going to be doing 8 courses. So you do 4 in first semester and 4 in your second semester. So you're going to have to write an exam after each semester, and then you'll be graded for those 4 courses after the first semester, and then you'll be graded for the second semester. So what I want to talk about now is continuous assessment. So the way it is in university is you're going to be assessed throughout the academic year. So like high school, where if you fail a certain test, it's just the exam is the main important thing that you actually need to pass. Here, you're going to be scrutinized for every single thing that you do, every single test that you write, every single quiz that you're going to write is going to be recorded. And the way it is at Mulungushi is you have 60% of your final grade coming from the exam and 40% coming from your continuous assessment. So that continuous assessment is made up of 2 tests, which each make 10 marks of that 40, and the labs, which make 15, and then the quiz that will make 5. So together that's 40, and then 60 is the exam. Then together it makes the 100 marks of your final grade. So here's just to show the point system, because if you want to do medicine, you're going to have to make points, and the cutoff point heavily depends on how well the intake performs. For example, if the intake performs really well, a lot of people pass, the cutoff point is really high. If the intake doesn't perform really well, a lot of people fail, a lot of people carry, the cutoff point will go down. Even before you can be considered for the cutoff point, you need to make sure that you clear all the courses. What does it mean by clearing? It means getting above C, which is 0 points. So yeah, basically here you can see 2.5 is A, plus 2 is A, blah blah blah. So I'll give you an example of biology. Your labs, you're going to have 4 labs. You're going to have 4 labs in a semester. Lab 1, lab 2, lab 3. And then when you attend your lab, you're going to have to write a lab report based on what you did in that lab. Your findings, everything, then that will be marked. You'll be given a certain mark out of 15 for that lab. You continue to have this throughout the semester. Towards the end, you would have done your 4th lab, and then you find an average mark for your lab out of 15. So each lab is out of 15, and then you just find average. So let's say your average is like a 12. And then test 1 is usually a baptism of fire, especially if it's math, because I remember my time when we were writing a math exam, the seniors even came, made noise, hit pots and stuff. So everyone fails the first test, but you do well. My only advice is to do well in quizzes and your labs, but also your tests. Just study for your tests, push for your tests. But if you don't do well in test 1, it's a normal occurrence. I mean, this university, most people who come here have that thing where they've been passing, because basically for you to make it, especially in the School of Natural and Applied Sciences, it means you're a brain boxer somewhere here or there. So you will find that here it's like a humbling thing, you know. Everyone was the top dog where they're coming from, and then here everyone is like together. So you just need to survive. It's about surviving, basically. Find what works for you, and I will have a video on some tricks and things I used to do for me to like go through my headers. Yeah, so basically, let's say this one you get like 40%, which is like 4 out of 10. Then test 2 you get like a 70, 75, which is 7 out of 10. So you get a 4, test 1, 7, test 2. Let's say lab you get a 12, and then quiz you get like a 4, also out of 5. Then together that makes like a 27, so your CA. Then like in your exam, you get maybe a 75%, which is like 45 out of 60. So you go 45 plus 27, yeah, you get that value. And then now you compare that to the points that you get. Boom, you see, okay, this is like a B. You get your B, and that's equivalent to 1 point. Then you now look at that through all your courses and see how many points you make in 1 semester. The second semester, you're going to have the same courses, but instead of having biology 1, maybe you have biology 2. Biology 1, we are doing mostly the biochemistry part of it, you know, macromolecules, proteins, stuff like that, vitamins. So semester 2, you do more of nucleic acids, you know, stuff to do DNA and the like. You know, physics, we're dealing more with like motion and stuff in first semester. Then second semester, you deal with like you know, electricity and all that. Yeah. So the main thing is try to have a CA close to 30. Aim for a CA close to 30. When you have a CA close to 30, it will be easier for you in the exam, because you have a CA of 29, 30, 31. You just need to, let's say the exam you get like a 75, you know, get that distinction thing. You find yourself close to an A, you know. You push in the exam, you don't get an A plus if you're really good. You maximize it yourself. So it really starts from the beginning. Try to push and don't underestimate anything. So the way the daily life of like an NS student is, throughout the week you find that you have 2, sometimes 3 courses in a day. Each course is like 2 hours, so you learn for 4 hours in a day. So if you have a course in the morning, you have a class in the morning, you have a lecture in the morning, let's say you get up at 5, 7, you go to class 7 to 9, then maybe in the afternoon you go another class 14 to 16. You go your 2 classes, but then you also have tutorial sessions. So it's kind of like the way you had tuitions in high school, but The only difference is it's paid for your school fees and it's free. But it's a must go, because these are the guys that are going to quiz you when you learn maybe a new mathematical method in class. It's here where you're going to now understand it really, because you have people who are going to be tutoring you and asking you questions and quizzing you, and that quiz has 5% that's your CA, and you really need that good CA so that you can maximize your chances in the exam. Yeah, so everything else to do with NS, there'll be a separate video made about it, but that's basically what you need to know about school natural sciences. So now you've gone through the whole natural sciences thing, and now you want to do medicine. You're coming to medical school. So for most universities here, the medical campus is an extension campus of the main campus. So it's another campus outside the main campus. So here in Mulungushi, main campus is in Great North Road. We've got our Livingstone campus, the medical campus, which is in Livingstone. So first and foremost, you know how when you went in first year, people are like this now in university. You used to pass in Shan. Here you want to be passing, you just need to survive, Shan, all that stuff they used to say. Well, it's the same here. Second year, for me, if I was to make it, if in future I'd make a tier list video of the different years and rank them in terms of difficulty, I would say second year would rank really highly, because even though first year was NS and when there were some people who are forced to do things that wouldn't like maybe if you're into biology you have to do math. Second year is really wild, because as much as in university you need to understand things and not just memorize like in high school, it's more memorizing in second year. The thing with medicine is it's not hard in the way that you need to know things that calculating and stuff like that. You just need to know. It's basically memorizing, if I just be honest. Because if you look at anatomy, you look at, let's say, the femur, which is the longest bone in the body, like in the leg. You just need to know how it is. You need to know what muscles originate from there, the attachment, all that stuff. You need to know the length, blah 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 blah. You just need to know it. There's nothing like understanding, but unless if we think of physiology, that's processes and stuff. But for majority of the courses, it's understanding, and the information is so much. Those thick books that you see, those Bible thick books, you need to know that. And in the beginning, it's really overwhelming. Of course, as time goes by, you get used to these things, and you even be bound that I'm actually, it reaches a point where you can do 100, 150 pages in a fly. But in the beginning, it takes some really adjustment. So I'll look at, how they say there are two types of students, those that are gifted and those that are hardworking. I feel like those that are hardworking do tend to perform better in med school, because those who are gifted are usually good at mathematical courses, so they're good at thinking out of the books, applying things and stuff. But here it's just reading, whether you're Sam or Sam, you just need to read. The difference with math is the information is there. Both of you learn that, right? One person will learn it faster and will be able to apply it. The other person will keep having to work hard until they can get it in the head. Now, here it's just information. You read it, you write it in your exam. You don't read it, you don't write it. So the first person is used to understanding things fast. They're not going to work as hard to get all that information. But then someone who's into working hard for that will continuously be studying, and that's how they tend to do really well here in med school. So here, to be honest, the only advice I can give you is just work hard, do what you can do. If you're used to letting the things coming to you easily for that, my G, here you need to really put in the effort. Yeah, so the way it is, our daily program is you learn from Monday to Friday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is full days, Friday is half day, then in the afternoon you've got a sporting event. Then we have two campuses, kind of. So we have the Parkview campus in Livingstone, which is a bit away from civilization. Then you've got some classes lecture theatre, labs, some stuff in the Livingstone Teaching Hospital. So third year medicine learns at the hospital, and then second year medicine, second year biomed, second year pharmacy, third year biomed, third year pharmacy learn from the Parkview campus. Yeah, and then fourth year going up, that's clinical practical, so they also do from the hospital. Yeah, so you basically get up at 5, right? Because you need to get on a bus. Most boarding houses are at the different checkpoints, which is the hospital and the tank. The tank is a checkpoint where people can also like get into a bus. It's like the way in Osaka you've got Hero Stadium, or there in Dola you've got Levy Mwanawasa. So it's basically a pickup point. So you can have boarding houses. The main places to have boarding houses are near the hospital, it's like town or that area near the hospital, or the tank where you have boarding houses near Highlands or in Ellen Retail. Yeah. So you go there around 6 weeks to be picked up by a bus and get to your campus. 8 hours exactly, classes start. If it's Monday morning, 8 hours anatomy, you need to be there because your lecturer is going to be really wild. Yeah, so you learn, you have 3 courses in that day. You're going to have for 2 hours, you're going to have your first course 8 to 10, second course 10:30 to 12:30, have a bit of a lunch break. Then your third course is from 14 to not 16 but 17. Yes, your third course is 3 hours long. After that, you wait for your bus 18, you're going back. So you find that the day is going to be literally 6 to 6 at school, because you start at like 6 a.m. and you come back 6 p.m. So half of your day is already spent there, and then on top of that you need to cook, you need to study, and then when we have time to actually do other things. So in the beginning it might feel really, really, really overwhelming. For Friday, the afternoon classes in there, so it's just 2 courses in the morning, and those who go for sports and go for sports. Yeah, so then you've got assignments that are given, there's so much, but the goodness is it's a trimester system, so the semester system like at main campus. So you only write an exam once in academic year. So you have term 1, term 2, term 3. You write your first test in the first trimester. You're going to have, of course, quizzes and stuff there. Second test in the second trimester, third test in the third trimester. You go to 3 tests. And then you make your CA, also looking at whatever the lecturer, if the lecturer wanted to give you. For here, the CA isn't as structured as it is at main campus. It really depends on how the lecturer feels. If the lecturer wanted to give you stuff like, of course, you will have labs, so labs will be part of the CA. But if the lecturer wanted to give you, a quiz here and there, if you wanted to give you an assignment, then those are things that will help boost your CA. But if it's just tests, it's really, really wild. Yeah, so all you have to do is know how to study, manage your time. The best thing to pass in school is managing your time and start studying from the beginning. Don't overstudy. Try to find what works for you. For me, I used to use Active Recall. Okay, for me, I kind of learned these things last minute, but something that I really wish I knew was Active Recall. I used to use Active Recall. I feel like we're in the 21st century. We've got AI, we've got internet, and these provide us with easy ways of getting back that information. You know how in high school we had teachers that like every time you learn something, you're given an exercise, given a quiz that like stimulates your brain to move information from short-term memory to long-term memory. So it's telling your brain that this information is important. So immediately you read something, you study something, you actively try to recall it. It's cementing what you've learned. So that's another method that I'll talk about, of course, more in another video. But basically that's for the program. Okay, now another thing I'd like to say is just some things I wish I knew before coming is, here there's that narrative to say that because you're doing medicine, you're like, those bookworms, things that we used to do at main campus. Like maybe if you're really, really into sports, you're really, really into like going for all these events, maybe you like going for galas, you like going for bashes, it really reduces here. Even though we have different people here, some might be into this, that, and that, but the fact that you're here doing medicine, the school thinks that you're that kind of person, and it's not going to push for you to have those things. If it's a gala, I feel like we have 1 or 2 if we're lucky. Sports day we have 1, of course, in the year, and then that's basically it. Here and there we might have a debate if our minister really pushes for us, but mostly things to do with extracurricular activities is really low. The most that you can do is just try to organize things with these nearby colleges that we find here, and there's also a thing, but there you need to now like link up with main campus, and you find that there's competition because main campus, if you look at the football team, there's an entire league, and they're like 10 different teams, and each of those teams have like full rosters. So just make a school team of like 18 to 22. It's like in the national duty, but picking from all those. Then on top of that, Livingston and you have one league here, and a lot of players to pick from here. So we need to just make the main team at main campus. It's a really, for Mulungushi, it's a really long route just for you to represent the school. Same for these other sports, because you find that like volleyball or basketball, for example, maybe the 60 to 70 plus players at main campus, and here you also need to make the team before you play against the other guys at main campus to represent Mulungushi in this ZUSA game. So, here most other activities are not that really considered, but they do push when it comes to academics. We have symposiums, we had the white coat ceremony. There's these activities that deal with like school stuff, but if you want to like break yourself, yeah, it's just a new thing that you have to organize with some people. Just as students, we have associations. Like I feel like the pharmacy guys really do well with the association. That is with coming up with events for us to like do this and that, get-togethers. Yeah, so it's usually like join your associations. If you're a medical student, join MUMETSA. If you're a pharmacy student, join MUFAMSA. Government student, join MUBAMETSA. Those really try to help with, because extracurricular activities are really good. I feel like they help you, because you can, if you're always like stuck in books and stuff, it's really hard for you to progress. So what you can do in terms of studies on how you can try and beat the yeah, but for you to try and survive, I will make a video on that, but I will keep on saying active recall. It's all over YouTube. You can search about how it's done, search about AI applications that can be used to push your active recall. But until this day, that's the number one best method for you to retain information. Yeah, don't be too lazy. Try to start studying from the beginning. I know especially those smart people want to like just go to class and stuff, and they'll study but not really study. Some people really and don't overstudy. Some people really overstudy in the beginning, converting soft copy to hard copy. Don't do that. It's weird, because I'll tell you not to overstudy, and I'll tell you also to study, but you just really need to strike the mode. Try to actually remember instead of just writing down, because a lot of people end up writing large chunks, filling books, and not remembering anything they write down. So try to put the information into your head and not onto paper. That's the one thing I'll tell you. Yeah. That's everything that you need to know before coming to do medicine at any Zambian school. And yeah, that's basically it for this video. In case you are interested in listening to content that involves content like this, educational type videos where we talk about school life, particularly in the medical field or other scientific fields, this is the channel for you. We also host interviews with other medical practitioners, and if that sounds like something you'd love to watch, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell for all notifications. It's been lovely being with you guys. Peace out.